Nice to see you all tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about social media. I have a question to get everything started this evening. Is your club using social media to promote your meetings? And if yes, can you write in the chat what media channels your club is using to promote your meetings? Facebook, that is a favorite for sure. Meetup, great. Instagram. LinkedIn, perfect. Thank you so much. Social media is a tool to reach our members and potential members regularly with entertaining, educational, and promotional messaging. This presentation is designed to show you how, why, when, and where to use social media to promote and elevate your Toastmasters Club. Tonight's session is meant to be interactive. I'm going to be asking some questions throughout the presentation, and you can put your answers in the chat. And I would ask you, though, to hold any questions until the end so we can be aware of time. Joe is monitoring the chat, however, and he will interrupt me if he feels a question posted needs immediate attention. In this presentation, we will look at some of the principles of creating effective social media posts. We will cover what the Toastmasters brand is, and we will look at how-to tips on managing and scheduling posts. First, we are going to explore the science behind social media posts and what the different components are. First impressions have a lasting effect. In fact, it can set the tone for the future. They used to say that you had 7 seconds to make a good first impression, but thanks to technology, this is more like 3 seconds now. Users will decide within 3 seconds if they are going to follow you or not. So make it count. What are some assumptions that people make in their first impressions? What are some of the things that they deduce upon you when they first meet you or see a web page? Do you want to throw that in the chat? What are some impressions that people can make if they go to your website or go to your social media? Do they make any assumptions? Yes, ease of use, not enough information, well organized. Perfect, fun, professional, informative, exactly. Now think about what a user first sees when landing on your feed. If you do not immediately lure in a user, they're likely to click away and not give your site or profile a second thought. To make a good first impression, we need to consistently actively post various types of information, stay on brand, and be concise. These factors are all going to be discussed later in this presentation. We want to create a social media post that will excite and influence new members to check out our clubs. It's key that such questions such as who, what, where, when, and most important, why, are answered in our social media posts. To do this, we're going to look a little deeper than what to use, what colors to use, what fonts are appropriate. Our posts need to answer the question, what's in it for me in their messaging? Here's an example of a branded Toastmasters message. So we're going to take a closer look at this graphic and carefully examine the separate components. We have an action and the results, a so that statement. The word lead fits nicely with Toastmasters branding where leaders are made. Be prepared tells the audience that Toastmasters will train you to be successful in your role. The graphics are from the Toastmasters International website. The Toastmasters logo is high quality and not fuzzy. The font is Gotham, the Toastmasters International preferred branded font. The blue color is also a Toastmasters International branded color, and we will talk about branding a little later. With this banner, you can demonstrate what you can achieve with Toastmasters training. Let's go back to that statement and talk a little bit about the messaging, the headlines. How do you make them? What should you be sharing? To stand out, you must make social media headlines that sing with adjectives, numbers, and emotion. You have to make your reader identify with your post and see what's in it for them. What should your headline include? Think about the desired outcome. If you do this, this is your result. This will be your question, problem, solution statement. Numbers are great. Many times you see headlines with numbers, usually 3 to 5. Don't use more than 5. This is a quick way to get attention to your headline. Caution, however, if you use a number more than 5, the audience may feel intimidated and not go any further. Use keywords. These words have been shown to increase click rates. Can you think of any keywords? I almost call them clickbait. These are words that you see in a headline that you cannot resist. You have to find out more. Can you think of any of those words? New, improved, must watch, yes. Secret, join us, fun. Yes, all of those keywords that just make the reader think, I think I want to know more about that. Also, consider using italics for keywords and draw attention to them. Your audience receives dozens of messages every day. You need a catchy headline to make it stand out. Here's some examples. The one skill that makes awesome public speakers. 5 ways to calm your nerves when speaking. The surprising secret to creating confidence. The 5-step Toastmaster guide that anyone can follow. So you see all of the secret words that are used in there. Keywords, numbers. We're also building intrigue and mystery by appealing to our reader's sense of what's in it for them. One way to brainstorm a headline is to use a tool called a headline generator. Here is a link to one that I liked. Joe's going to throw that in the chat for us. There are many free headline generators on the internet. They make it easy to write attention-grabbing headlines that draw the website visitors, boost social media engagement, build brand awareness, and much more. All of the tools that are in this presentation can be also found on our public relations section of our D45 website. Using this tool, you put in some keywords about your website, and it will give you examples of headlines to use. As I mentioned before, a headline should have an emotional benefit. So here's another great tool Joe's going to share with us. It analyzes the emotional marketing value of a headline. When I added the phrase, be prepared to lead, these are results that I got. Don't worry about the small print in this. I'm put this picture here just to analyze, just to demonstrate the level of information that this tool can provide. It shows us 2 things. The first thing is that our phrase scored 100% in emotional marketing value. This refers to how well it relates to people's emotions. Emotional marketing helps people remember your brand. Your content becomes more memorable, more shareable, and builds loyalty. You want to aim for 70% or more in your headlines. The other piece of information that we gain from this test is exactly which emotion our headline impacts. In this case, it was intellectual, which means its goal is to arouse curiosity. The other 2 categories are empathetic, which means it brings out profound and strong positive reactions, or spiritual, which means it appeals to people at a very deep emotional level. Let me ask you a question. Do you read every word in every single email every day? You can throw that in the chat. I think I might know your answer, but you can throw it in the chat. No. Exactly, you skim them. That's exactly what I was getting at. Never, nope. Probably not. What I'm thinking, you might only read the subject as we see in the chat from Cecilia. You might just skim the email briefly. Probably you think, I'll get to that later, and you move on. This is the same thing that happens with social media. And this brings us to a marketing concept called touch points. Digital touch points are the instances when a customer or your audience comes in contact with your message through online channels. There is an opportunity with every touch point to either strengthen your relationship with your customer or weaken it. Today's consumers use an average of 7 or 8 digital touch points to complete a single purchase compared to an average of 2 touch points 15 years ago. Keep this in mind when making your posts and sending emails. Let's say, for example, your club's having an open house and you want to drive registration. One email or one graphic is not enough. You need to plan for this and post additional content leading up to the event. Remember, it takes an average of 7 interactions for people to take action. Earlier, I mentioned the Toastmasters International Branding Guidelines. Branding helps strengthen the relationship with our audience and reflects the core qualities of an organization's personality. Toastmasters has developed a brand manual that we can access from the Toastmasters International website, and it clearly spells out the rules to follow when developing promotional material for your club. So here is the link in the chat to the brand manual on the TI website. Maybe. Also, as I said, you can find this on the public relations section of our District 45 website. It's very important that as you build your content, you make sure to align with the Toastmasters branding guidelines. There are 3 components from the branding manual that you will use every day when creating social media posts and promotional material. These are specific fonts, colors, and pictures, and they are clearly spelled out in the brand manual. We want to create consistent messaging using branded colors and fonts. These are photos from our District 45 Facebook page. Even at a glance, you can see that these posts are Toastmasters just from the use of colors. You can also see, however, that there are some unbranded, non-branded posts mixed in there as well. This is okay in moderation, but remember though, if you are using the Toastmasters logo, if you ever have the Toastmasters logo on your graphic, you must use branded colors and fonts. I encourage you to download the branding manual to learn more. What if you want to create your own graphics? The District 45 social media page has access to the resources you need. So here is the link to the PR page, as well as the Toastmasters International Brand Manual. Joe will add those to the chat. This is our social media page. So Joe's going to add that to the chat. So you can find all of these things on this page. Here on our page on the District 45 website, you will get access to several social media templates that you can use to create your own club posts. So for example, you can see here, there is a PowerPoint file that you can download and customize for your club. The colors and fonts are already aligned with Toastmasters branding. You just have to change the name of the club to your club, save it as a picture, and you can post it. You can also find a link to the Moonlit project, and this is a marketing resource provided free from Toastmasters Europe. It provides many social media ads that you can use. Many of them you probably see regularly on our District 45 social media channels. And don't worry if you aren't a graphic artist. There are free online tools to help you create professional looking graphics. For example, at District 45, we use Canva. And next week, our District 45 Striving for Success webinar will be on the use of Canva. So please join if you're interested in learning how to use this free software. Details for this are also on the D45 website under the educational section. So now, oops, I'm in the way. I'll get me out of the way. We are going to break into groups. So each group is going to have a different social media post. There will be someone in each group who will be sharing their screen for you. So each group will have one social media post to look at. And your assignment is to examine the post and decide if it's a good Toastmasters post or not, using the components that we just learned about. So you have 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back and you can share your thoughts. So make sure someone in your group is taking notes and can report back to larger group. Well, here I have whatever district you are. So it was very important that we all found out what district we are at the beginning of the session today. And you will join the breakout group that corresponds with your district. We are now going to get each group to share their thoughts on the post that they were examining. And let's start with breakout 1, which is right here. Can the spokesperson for this group tell us what their thoughts were?
Yeah, I'm Nick Bergman. I'm doing this one. Our first one that we thought was that the word and
all right, Nick, go ahead.
So okay. Yep. And so we were going to liven it up by adding some logos, change the fonts, add some branding because we didn't see any branding. We also wanted to liven it up with a yellow and blue borders from the Toastmasters colors. The people we saw in there, we didn't think that they looked happy. So we wanted to have a different picture with happy, smiling people that included their name tags that were a little bit clearer so we could see them. We also wanted to add a headline after we tested it. Then we would like to maybe in the picture show the generations of the club. We would also make sure to include at least a minimum of 1 touch point and a call to action. We also thought that it would be a good idea, instead of just having come join us as a guest, to have it say come join us as a guest of honor, so they felt more included.
Like that.
To engage them. That's all we had.
That's great. And actually, I think that's most of the things that I was going to say, except also it's just way too long. I think anyone's going to say, I'm not reading all that. I don't even think I've read all that. And I've seen this 4 times now. So thank you very much, Nick.
Yes.
That was great.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
Did anyone else have anything that they wanted to add? Maybe someone from the other groups? Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I just wanted to, Nick, it was a great job. I just wanted to kind of highlight one thing that you said, name tags. I think name tags are huge. And I think if we can wear name tags as much as possible and give one to a guest, I think it can be a conversation starter and it can help. I remember one time, I forget what it was, but it was after a meeting and I stopped at Hannaford's at a local supermarket and I had my name tag on and like 3 people in the store stopped me and said, what is that? So just
Interesting. Good to know. And we don't often wear our name tags when we're on Zoom meetings too. So that's a really good tip. Thanks, Tom. Let's move on now. I'm on the way again to group number 2. Who's the spokesperson for group 2?
I think B is group 2, which is me, but this is not the post that we evaluated.
Does this look familiar to anybody? We could look at it as a group then, all of us. Just looking at this now, what is glaringly missing?
Pictures.
Pictures.
Any pictures, any headline, any logo.
Yeah, any Toastmaster logo.
At least there's a link.
First thing I see when I look at it is I see the word fear. I don't think that's good to use.
No, really good point. And they don't really say where they are or what time zone they're in.
Full color.
And 5555, that's a fake post.
I can remember that number though.
Yes, before they made it bad. And there's also punctuation, and we're going to get to that later too, that just take a look at everything before you post it and make sure it's something that you're going to be proud of. Okay. Wait again. I'm not going to say whose group this is, but does this slide look familiar to anyone?
This one looks familiar to me, but did anybody else also do this one? Because our group did this one. So, okay. Nobody else. All right, then I'm just going to go.
Go for it.
So we immediately saw that this obviously does not conform to the standards that we were taught prior to our breakout rooms. It's got the logo very blurry. It's stretched out. It doesn't look good. It's got doesn't have the Toastmaster colors backing up that logo. That's really not an exciting picture without anything in addition to it. There's horrible spelling mistakes littered throughout the post. There aren't any headlines. There's also there's a call to action as an invitation, but there's no way to actually contact. There's no link, there's no number, there's no email address. It looks like the font isn't the right font according to the branding standards. And we just think maybe the best thing to do with this post is to delete it and start over again. There really is to change it. We can immediately see this does not conform. So that would be our feedback.
Yes, there's like 3 spelling errors. Did anyone find them all?
I think we found 3 at least.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
exactly. And a thing about the font, if you look at, you remember on Facebook, you have the blurb that you type in, and then you have room for your picture. So that blurb that you type in, you can't make the font any bigger, or you can't change the font, you can't change the size of it. So that's what we're seeing in the blue section is the typed in part, but you can change the background color. So that is what we're seeing at the top. I'm really glad that you saw stretch, because I didn't mention that before. You're not allowed to stretch your logo either, or have any special things around it. And if you are going to have the logo, there is another trick or rule that we're supposed to use. If you have the logo and you're putting it on a color, it has to be a branded color. So this is a green, but it's not the proper green. It's not the Toastmasters color. Very, very good. Does anyone else have anything they wanted to add on that?
Somebody did say in the chat, Leslie, that it was way too. No, I'm sorry. That was the
That may
one
have been the one
before. That it was
before.
too wordy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Who had the pathways one?
Okay, we had it. So what we noticed on the top, it was very small to read, to see what time is the meeting. They don't say where it is, that's from Zoom or where it is, but there's nothing about it. The fonts, like possibilities with learning sessions, not clear to read. The shadows around the pathways, maybe not necessary. We should talk about the Toastmasters first, larger logo. Now we're just talking about pathways, not clear what's pathways is all about. So yeah, so that's most of what we're seeing. You should put the logo first, larger, not put all the shadow around. So I think
Yes.
that's
Around the
most of it.
Toastmasters, is that what you mean, around the globe?
Yeah. So I think that's most of what we discussed. And at the bottom, there was a hat D45. Maybe they should put www instead of the hat. There's not an email or website, maybe. So yeah. So that's all. That's all what we discussed.
Awesome, thank you. And the good thing about it is it does have our branded colors. So those, if you're not familiar with our colors, that's the blue, the yellow, and the red that we use for our branded colors. Very good, Antoine. Thank you very much. Anyone else have anything they wanted to add about this one? Okay. So next.
So that was our group, and we talked about what we thought was not proper use of branding in this. It looked we weren't sure, but maybe the Toastmasters logo is blurry. We were unsure if you could put the D40, the District 45 underneath the globe for the brand. And also the writing is small at the top among, and also was it the correct font? Lots of people thought that it was a good post. It was a great photo and it talked about, it was a very easy, clear message. I overcame stammering thanks Toastmaster, and it would appeal to a lot of people. We also talked about the importance of prioritizing posting over adhering to brand guidelines. That's probably not what you want to hear, but sometimes people get really stuck on sticking within the brand guidelines, and it's much more important to be consistent in your posting from week to week. And there were a few people who felt that they were constricted by the brand guidelines and being creative, and that some of their best received posts were jokes or humorous posts.
That's great, Sarah. Thanks. Now I could add to that a little bit. And as I said before, it's okay to have some that are branded as long as they don't have the Toastmasters logo on them, that you're allowed to have that. However, you want, for the consistency and your overall messaging, to try to use the colors as much as you can, or we'll get in trouble. We don't really want to draw attention to ourselves, because there is a possibility that Toastmasters International could come and say, I don't like that. You guys are going to have to take that down. And we don't want to draw that much attention to ourselves. So it is important that we stick to the guidelines as much as possible. And when in doubt, look maybe at other districts or the district website and see what they're doing as well to get that. I understand you don't want to be creative, but we want to stick within the guidelines as much as possible. That's for sure. We want people to be able to come to our sites and automatically identify it as Toastmasters.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this one too, because it does have the emotional appeal that we were talking about too. What's in it for them? Does anyone else have anything to add about?
You could use a name tag.
You're right. That would be perfect. Perfect opportunity right here. Yeah, that would actually be amazing. Is that good? Does anyone have any questions or additions?
I just see that it doesn't fit all on my screen. I don't know if it's zoomed in or something, but it'd be nice if it fit in one like screen swipe so that you get all the information in one shot and then have stuff below it. Like it looks like of course now my other thing came up. It says you can do it or something at the bottom, and then there's another line.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think that
It's
actually might
chopped
be the
off.
PowerPoint. Yeah, you're right. That might be the
Okay.
PowerPoint showing that. Good catch though. Didn't even notice that. Perfect, yes. Anything else? Great, everybody ready to move on? That's a great work, everyone. I think you're all going to be great at social media posts for your club, that's for sure. We have is that it?
No, there's one more. Our Division D.
Oh, you guys go ahead. Yes, you must have done a repeated one.
It's kind of the one two back. To go back again, that one, but we didn't have, nope. That one, but we didn't have a lot of that stuff on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a very bland one. So it didn't have the stamp at the top, nor the at D45 at the bottom,
Oh, how
nor
exciting.
learning sessions. Yeah. So with that in mind, we have comments on the layout design and information offered. So starting off on layout design, the message possibilities with, don't be vague. We weren't sure, or we felt that there could be more. So this statement could be revised. It needs action words. And so instead of saying possibilities with, they could say achieved success with pathways.
Mm-hmm.
A little thing, but visually, don't use that font with possibilities with. For some eyes, it may not be clear for them. Mm-hmm. The logo, as others have said, it's too fuzzy. We don't even think we're allowed to do that. And we didn't like where it was placed in ours. Instead, so sorry, cancel that thought. Now, visually, it lacked visual appeal. It had been slapped together. So ways to enhance that, add images or an image of an individual showcasing their excitement and enthusiasm to elevate the overall aesthetic and enhance the message being conveyed. such as that last one that we just saw, that really was attracted my interest. Just thinking, okay, somebody has succeeded with this. What's in it for me? Adding people can create that personal connection. Also, with ours, because it was so flat, incorporate a quote to share success and inspire others. A couple of things on the information that was offered. The details that
Is that me or Alexa?
I can hear you.
Do we lose her?
adding
I think we're losing her.
You're going really staticky, Alexa. Does anyone else have anything to add from that group who's in the group with Alexa? Can help her out. I'm curious to see if you see a difference between the one that you looked at and this one here. Would you see that it would be an improvement?
This one is, I believe it's an improvement, and I was in that group. This one is an improvement compared to the one we saw. The one that we had was just the Toastmasters logo up on the left. Like, it looked like it was a pick art square piece that was there. And then all we saw was the possibilities with the pathways and then the blurb up top. That was it. So we were
Okay.
going to rerun. And I just want to mention that when you were saying, I'm gonna say her name because I don't want to say it, but when you said her name, my went off, you know.
Oh no. Oh yes, of course. See, I have a Google. That doesn't happen to me.
Just to add one thing that Alexa was going to mention before was almost looks like it's saying pathways
Mhm.
instead of just pathways. So just the spacing of it.
Oh yes.
Anyway.
Sorry, I got booted out. I don't know if my messaging was heard.
Yes, I think so. And Michael was just filling in some of the blanks for us, Alexa. Oh, I don't say that because it's going to make Megan's machine go off again. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate your help. And maybe we'll see some of these improvements in posts at District 45 in the future. Okay, let's move on to our final section of the night for the social media. And we're going to look at specifics of how to make social media posts and the importance of when to make them live. Keep your posts short and sweet. When people come to visit your page, they don't want to feel like they're reading an essay. 1 or 2 sentences should be adequate for most posts, and we saw that in the breakout groups. Break up posts. Going over a full screen of nothing but words is exhausting, and people will turn away. They won't even read the message. Include pictures and videos with your posts. Catch the reader's eye with a compelling image that will make them want to read the post more and learn more. Put a spin on it. Be sure to utilize alliteration, wit, rhyming, catchphrases to make your post more interesting, and your followers will be more likely to share the post. Because ultimately, that's what we want. We want people to share our posts. Be sure to mix it up. The same type of post over and over and over are boring. Be sure to vary the topics you cover, but keep them relevant to your club's missions and goals. One of the most successful posts are videos, just a 10-second video, and you'll get people's attention. I don't know if you've noticed, but I just did a short video on how to do the PowerPoint presentation with my little floating body here. I did that on Facebook, and it's getting, I can't believe that people are that thrilled about it and sharing it, but it just shows that if you find a need, that you can get people's attention, because that's what we want. Interactions. Well, it's very important, to post interesting, eye-catching content. It's equally important to engage your audience. So make sure to promptly answer any posts and follow up on questions and comments. Engage your audience. Ask questions that prompt responses, and be sure to provide information for any questions that are asked. Draw people in by giving them the feeling that they are making a difference. Now let's look at when to post. How often should you update your Facebook page? Anyone have an idea? I want to throw it in the chat. How often should you update your Facebook page? Three times a week, 2 times a week, weekly? All very good. 2 times a week, perfect. We should be looking to make social media posts for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a bare minimum once a week. Better, 3 times a week. Optimal, once a day. You want to, however, be careful and avoid making a bunch of posts in quick succession. Try to allow at least 3 hours between posts, because too many updates is the number one reason people will unfollow your pages. Post peaks. There are optimal times to make your social media posts live in order to get better exposure. Use tools such as post scheduling to take advantage of peak times. So peak times are the times when your audience is accessing your social media. And you can find that in your meta tools on Facebook. It's usually about 8 a.m., 5 p.m., 6 o'clock at night. If I go to my club page, it says that I should be posting at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. because that's when the majority of my followers are looking at my page. I'm asleep right there, but I don't know what they're doing anyway. That's when my people are reading my social media posts. So that's why I customize my posts to get out there when my readers are using them. So boost your post. If you feel you need to extend a post reach to be seen by many more people, Facebook can promote that post for you for a small fee. Now, I just did this in my club for our open house. So District 45 has a promotion right now. If your club is having an open house, you can get reimbursed up to $25 to boost your event on Facebook. That's what we just did with our club. We had 5 people join as guests for our open house. I got reimbursed for it, but then Facebook told me that that post was read by 1,500 people just because I boosted for the $25. So I definitely recommend doing that. If you have any questions on how to do that, just let us know. Sharing is caring. Sharing is free advertising for your club. The more engagement your page gets from others, the further the reach of your post. Your goal, if you think about it, you're making a post, you want people to click on your post. You want to give them a teaser so that they're going to go to your website. The more engagement you have with your post, the more it's shared and the higher your profile comes in your social media. So probably the best tool you can use to gain more views is to partner with other Toastmasters pages. Repost, get your name out to potential followers through the pages of other organizations. So you're saying, what Facebook pages, what Toastmasters pages? You can, Toastmasters International has many, many great posts that you can share, and also our District 45 site. So if you go onto our District 45 site and see something that you like, you can share it to your page. Use a social media scheduler. With a social media scheduler, you can align your social media posts to multiple platforms at different times to get maximum reach. So I know that the people who are looking at my club's Facebook page are watching it at 6 a.m., but I'm not on my computer at 6 a.m. pushing the button. I'm scheduling all of our posts accordingly. And as you can see, I could have a whole month of posts in advance. At District 45, we use Buffer. It's a free program on the internet. This is the one I'm showing right here. This is a screenshot of Buffer of showing the social media posts that I have planned for the upcoming month, but this was actually December, for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You get 3 channels for free with Buffer. There are many other cross-platform posting services that you can also use. So you look at what best fits your needs. I've examined several, and Buffer was the best for me. And I see that Lauren also uses Buffer. And if you have any questions as well, just reach out anytime. Some final tips: check your spelling, Read over every post before you publish it. Look over your pictures carefully before you add them to the page. If you misspell a word or you happen to upload a picture that has someone in the background picking their nose, that is all your fans will see. Never mind how great the message is. They will only be comments about the mistake. Encourage your club members to like and share your page. Let them take pride in their club by showing it off to their family and friends. A great way to do this for your club, especially if you post a picture of who won the awards for your club meeting that week and tag those members in the post. Then it goes onto their feed, they like and share. That's a wonderful way to get your message out there. Always, always take the high road. Don't get upset or be tempted to leave a witty, biting response. Let the professional in you shine through. And always, always, always be aware of time zones. Our district has 2 time zones. And remember to allow for this when scheduling events on Facebook, but also think about it that we are having online meetings. People could be joining your meetings from anywhere in the world. So you want to make sure that they know what time zone it is. Social media, how am I tonguing for time? Oh, right on time. There are many social media channels. How do you decide which ones to use? Don't get overwhelmed by all the options. There are many social media outlets. You can find more information on these on the D45 website, as I said. First and foremost, focus on forming a foundation set with a site such as Facebook or Twitter, then branch out to others such as Instagram. Consider who your target audience is when you're deciding which platform to use. Is your target audience millennials, working parents, retirees? Keep that in mind because each of these groups has a different social media platform that they prefer. Okay. Now Meetup. Meetup is an online event scheduler. Think of Meetup as the online equivalent to the bulletin board at your local library. It is where people go to find meetings that are of interest to them. At District 45, we are currently running a pilot project for Meetup. This began November 1st and ends the end of April. It's not free, so that's why the district right now is paid for a group membership that we can all share for these 6 months. And if we find it a useful tool for attracting guests to our meetings, then it may be continued. So I encourage you to get your club signed up as soon as you can. April is coming quickly, and we're just asking that you keep track of how many guests attend your meeting as a result of Meetup. Also, there's more on the Meetup project and how you can join the District 45 group on the District 45 website on the public relations page. And you can also contact me anytime if you'd like assistance setting it up. If you're having troubles, I could probably do it for you. In conclusion, when it comes to social media platforms, you get what you give. Nothing pays off like putting in the time and effort to create genuine, educational, and helpful posts. Always look at your promotional material from the eyes of someone who's coming to Toastmasters for the first time. Don't be discouraged by slow growth. If you persevere, you will succeed. Together, we will build awareness of our club meetings and promote the Toastmasters brand. So thanks, everybody. And if you want to post something, any questions you have, or something you learned maybe today in the chat. Back to you, Tom.
Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and stop record before I forget.